know, it's late, but the 1 year Bible day 33. The 1 year Bible day 33. It's 5 p.m. over here by my time, but hey, like I said before, you gotta get it in. You can get it in. You feel me? So this should be February the 2nd. Yeah, February the 2nd. I'm gonna have to take better tally of our days. I think I'm just gonna mark the pages. From now on, after the first 30 days, I'm just gonna mark the pages. So that way I do not have to count these. Okay, cool. So it's extremely late, but the 1 year Bible, day 33. We get it in when we get it in. But it's 5 p.m. Hey, what's up, Elliot? And it's time to get into our reading. So let's see what we're gonna be reading from today. So we're gonna be reading from Exodus 15:19 through 17, verse 7, Matthew 22, 1 through 33, Psalms 27, 1 through 6, and then ending off with Proverbs 6:20 through 26. Okay. So, good afternoon, good evening, good morning for some of y'all. Let's get into today's reading. So, Exodus 15:19, 17, 7. When Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and charioteers rushed into the sea, the Lord brought the water crashing down on them. But the people of Israel had walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground. Then Miriam, the prophet, Aaron's sister, took a tambourine and led all the women as they played their tambourines and danced. And Miriam sang this song: Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has hurled both horse and rider into the sea. Then Moses led the people of Israel away from the Red Sea, and they moved out into the desert of Shur. They traveled in this desert for 3 days without finding any water. When it came to the oasis of Marah, the water was too bitter to drink. So they called the place Marah, which means bitter. I like Marah better, so I'm gonna say Marah next time I see that. Then the people complained and turned against Moses. What are we going to drink? They demanded. So Moses cried out to the Lord for help, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. Moses threw it into the water, and this made the water good to drink. It was there at Marah that the Lord set before them the following decree as a standard to test their faithfulness to him. He said, if you will listen carefully to the voice of the Lord your God and do what is right in his sight, obeying his commands and keeping all his decrees, then I will not make you suffer any of the diseases I sent on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you. After leaving Marah, the Israelites traveled on to the oasis of Elim, where they found 12 springs and 70 palm trees. They camped there beside the water. Then the whole community of Israel set out from Elim and journeyed into the wilderness of Sin, between Elim and Mount Sinai. They arrived there on the 15th day of the second month, 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt. There too, the whole community of Israel complained about Moses and Aaron. If only the Lord had killed us back in Egypt, they moaned. There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. Hey, what's up, Liam? What's up, Imrana? Can you say hi to Fatima? What's up, Fatima? How you doing? All right. They arrived on the 15th day in the second month. There too, the whole community complained of Moses and Aaron. If only the Lord had killed us back then in Egypt, then we sat around in pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us into this wilderness to starve us all to death. Then the Lord said to Moses, look, I'm going to rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people can go out and pick up as much food as they want, as much food as they need for the day. I will test them in this to see whether or not they will follow my instructions. On the 6th day, they will gather food, and when they prepare it, there will be twice as much as usual. So Moses and Aaron said to all the people of Israel, by the evening you will realize it was the Lord who brought you out of this land of Egypt. In the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your complaints, which are against him, not against us. What have we done that you should complain about us? Then Moses added, the Lord will give you meat to eat in the evening and bread to satisfy you in the morning. For he has heard all your complaints against him. What have we done? Yes, your complaints are against the Lord, not against us. Then Moses said to Aaron, "Announce this to the entire community of Israel. Present yourselves before the Lord, for he has heard your complaining." And as Aaron spoke to the whole community of Israel, they looked out toward the wilderness. There they could see the awesome glory of the Lord in the cloud. Then the Lord said to Moses, "I have heard the Israelites' complaints. Now tell them in the evening you will have meat to eat, and in the morning you will have all the bread you want. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God." That evening, vast numbers of quail flew in and covered the camp. And the next morning, the area around the camp was wet with dew. When the dew evaporated, a flaky substance, as fine as frosted blanketed on the ground, the Israelites were puzzled when they saw it. "What is it?" they asked each other. They had no idea what it was. And Moses told them, "It is a food the Lord has given you to eat. These are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent." So the people of Israel did as they were told. Some gathered a lot, and some only a little. But when they measured it out, everyone had just enough. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. Each family had just what it needed. Then Moses told them, "Do not keep any of it until morning." But some of them didn't listen, and they kept some of it until morning. But by then it was full of maggots and had a terrible smell. Moses was very angry with them. After this, the people gathered the food by morning, each family according to its need. And as the sun became hot, the flakes they had not picked up melted and disappeared. On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much as usual, 4 quarts for each person instead of 2. Then all the leaders of the community came and asked Moses for an explanation. He told them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow will be a day of a complete rest, a holy Sabbath, day set apart for the Lord. So bake or boil as much as you want today and set aside what is left for tomorrow." So they put some aside until morning, just as Moses had commanded. And in the morning the leftover food was wholesome and good, without maggots or odor. Moses said, "Eat this food today, for today is the Sabbath day, dedicated to the Lord. There will be no food on the ground today. You may gather the food for 6 days, but the 7th day is the Sabbath. There will be no food on the ground that day." Some of the people went out anyway on the 7th day, but they found no food. The Lord asked Moses, "How long will these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions? They must realize that the Sabbath is the Lord's gift to you. This is why he gives you a 2-day supply on the 6th day, so there will be enough for 2 days. On the Sabbath day, you must each stay in your place. Do not go out to pick up food on the 7th day." So the people did not gather any food on the 7th day. The Israelites called the food manna. It was white like coriander seed, and it tasted like honey wafers. I just heard about that recently. Hey Dominic. Ooh. Thanks for the likes on the stream. Hold up. I am trying to get to this next page. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Fill a 2-quart container with manna to preserve it for your descendants. Then later generations will be able to see the food I gave you in the wilderness when I set you free from Egypt." Moses said to Aaron, "Get a jar and fill it with 2 quarts of manna. Then put it in a sacred place before the Lord to preserve it for all future generations." Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He eventually placed it in the Ark of the Covenant, in front of the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. So the people of Israel ate manna for 40 years until they arrived at the land where they were settled. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. The container used to measure the manna was an omer, which is 1/10 of an ephah. It had about 2 quarts. At the Lord's command, the whole community of Israel left the wilderness of Sin and moved from place to place. Eventually they camped at Rephidim. But there was no water there for the people to drink. So once more, the people complained against Moses. "Give us water to drink," they demanded. "Quiet," Moses replied. "Why are you complaining against me? And why are you testing the Lord?" But tormented by thirst, they continued to argue with Moses. Why did you bring us out of Egypt? Are you trying to kill us, or our children, and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What should I do with these people? They are ready to stone me." The Lord said to Moses, "Walk out in front of the people, take your staff, the one you used when you struck the water of the Nile, and call some of the elders of Israel to join you. I will, I will stand before you on the rock of Mount Sinai. Strike the rock, and the water will come gushing out. Then the people will be able to drink." So Moses struck the rock, as he was told, and water gushed out as the elders looked on. Moses named the place Massah, which means test, and Meribah, which means arguing, because the people of Israel argued with Moses and tested the Lord by saying, Is the Lord here with us not? Is the Lord here with us or not? And now we're going to get into Matthew 22, 1 through 33. So, beginning Matthew 22, 1 through 33. Jesus told them of the parables. He said, "The kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a king who prepared a great wedding feast for his son. When the banquet was ready, he sent his servants to notify those who were invited, but they all refused to come. So he sent other servants to tell them, 'The feast has been prepared, the bulls and the fattened cattle have been killed, and everything is ready. Come to the banquet.' But the guests he had invited ignored them and went their own way, one to his farm and another to his business. Others seized his messengers and insulted them and killed them. The king was furious, and he sent out his army to destroy the murderers and burn their town. And he said to his servants, 'The wedding feast is ready, and the guests I invited are unworthy to honor. Now go out to the street corners and invite everyone you see.' So the servants brought in everyone they could find, good and bad alike, and the banquet was filled with guests. But when the king came in to meet the guests, he noticed a man who wasn't wearing the proper clothes for a wedding. 'Friend,' he asked, 'how is it that you're here without wedding clothes?' But the man had no reply. Then the king said to his aides, 'Bind his hands and his feet and throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen.' Then the Pharisees met together to plot how to trap Jesus into saying something for which he could be arrested. They sent some of their disciples, along with the supporters of Herod, to meet with him. 'Teacher,' they said, 'we know how honest you are. You teach the way of God truthfully. You are impartial and don't play favorites. Now tell us what you think about this. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not?' But Jesus knew their evil motives. 'You hypocrites,' he said, 'why are you trying to trap me? Here, show me the coin used for the tax.' When they handed him a Roman coin, he asked, 'Whose picture and title are stamped on it?' 'Caesar's,' they replied. 'Well then,' he said, 'give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God.' His reply amazed him. They went away. That same day, Jesus was approached by some Sadducees, religious leaders who say there is no resurrection from the dead. They posed this question. 'Teacher,' Moses said, 'if a man dies without children, his brother should marry the widow and have a child who will carry on the brother's name. Well, suppose there were 7 brothers. The oldest one married and then died without children. So his brother married the widow, but the second brother also died, and then the third brother married her. This continued with all 7 of them. Last of all, the woman also died. So tell us, whose wife will she be in the resurrection? For all 7 were married to her.' Jesus replied, 'Your mistake is that you don't know the scriptures, and you don't know the power of God. For when the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. In this respect, they will be like the angels in heaven. But now, as to whether there will be a resurrection of the dead, haven't you ever read about this in the scriptures? Long after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had died, God said, 'I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.' So he is the God of the living, not the dead." When the crowds heard him, they were astounded at his teaching. And now, we're going to get into Psalms. Can you get my... Archie, you're funny, bro. Now we're into Psalms 27, 1 through 6. A Psalm of David. "The Lord is my light and my salvation, so why should I be afraid? The Lord is my fortress, protecting me from danger, so why should I tremble? When evil people come to devour me, when my enemies or foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Though a mighty army surrounds me, my heart will not be afraid. Even if I am attacked, I will remain confident. The one thing I ask of the Lord, the thing I seek most, is to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, delighting in the Lord's perfections and meditating in his temple. For he will conceal me there when troubles come. He will hide me in his sanctuary. He will place me out of reach on a high rock. Then I will hold my head high above my enemies who surround me. At his sanctuary I will offer sacrifices with shouts of joy, singing and praising the Lord with music. And Psalms, again, being a great example of how to pray. Now, Proverbs 6:20 through 26. My son, obey your father's commands, and don't neglect your mother's instruction. Keep the words always in your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you walk, their counsel will lead you. When you sleep, they will protect you. When you wake up, they will advise you. For their command is a lamp, and their instructions a light. Their corrective discipline is the way of life. It will keep you from the immoral woman, from the smooth tongue of the promiscuous woman. Don't lust for her beauty. Don't let her coy glances seduce you. For a prostitute will bring you to poverty, but sleeping with another man's wife will cost you your life. And now, protection from promiscuity. We are born with a tendency to rebel. We were born with a tendency to rebel against the teachings of our fathers and mothers. Then we watch the next generation do the exact same things. Good parents teach their sons to be men of character and integrity. Obeying their parents' instruction keeps children from running down the wrong path with wrong people or being lured into traps of lust and promiscuity. Sadly, men today are more likely to stare at pornography than fix their eyes on Jesus. So as you study God's word, obey his wise teaching to save yourself from bondage to sexual sin. Good word. Good word. Good word. Facts. Good word today. Good word today. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Ooh, there's a message. Please. Yeah. Apply the next time you show up to the stream and you will be mod. The next time you show up to a stream, you will be mod. Only temporarily, flight 2 days. Hey, Pop Tart. I'm just joking. That's pretty funny. Okay, now next read will be February the 3rd. We've made it through a whole month and 2 days. We're in February the 2nd currently, but before the February 2nd. Hope y'all are having a great one. I hope you all having a great one and enjoyed the reading today. I did. What's up, babies? What's up, babies? What's up? Hello, this is the first time I'm here. Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to the chat. What's up, baby? Come up here. We just finished the reading of the word. Oh. This is a blessing that you read the Bible because you might find this crazy of me, but I have seen a portal to heaven. You have? I got this experience. I believe you. But I had this experience, right, where there's this ocean, there's this like body of water, and at the top of the body of water was this light. I couldn't tell what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was God. And there's some other details, but yeah, I just remember that. I remember that body of water. So I believe you. I for sure believe you. This is the first time here on the 33rd day. Hey, it was meant to be. It was after my 17-year-old cousin passed away. Something similar, honestly. Oh, back. Oh. Mine was after, was it before? Was it before or after my 25th birthday? Hey, what's up, baby? Come up here. I can't reach you. You're all the way down there, man. I can't reach you. You're already down there, man. But I can't remember if it was before or after my 25th birthday. But I'll tell you about that stuff at a different time. King of Spheres, I'm just reading. Mm. Oh man, come in dressed. Come in ready. Come, hey. Come in dressed. Oh, I got this. I come in dressed in God's clothing, and you will be accepted anywhere. Hey, cool. Yeah. Oh man, even like all those bandits did, right? They all got accepted in that party from that king. And then the one dude who wasn't dressed like he was supposed to be dressed, he tied him up, threw him out. The parable. Ask for wisdom. You always ask for the wisdom when you're reading these. I'm not gonna lie. Always ask for wisdom if you're reading the Bible, because it's a gigantic parable, or like a giant. It's like a giant, like it's like a beautiful giant story about how God loves you, but doesn't tell you directly. It doesn't, because it doesn't tell you directly. It tells you all the ways that God loves you, and exactly how to, you know, exactly the ways, exactly the way to be for the most enjoyable life. For heaven on earth. Exactly how to be for heaven on earth. But you just gotta like ask for wisdom when you read it. Because if you read this directly, it sounds so crazy. Like it's so ridiculous. I told my wife about some of the stuff that happens in the Bible, and she was like, it sounds like a big drama story. Because it is. It's like written like a big drama story. It's written like a dramatic story. Like a really dramatic story. But like, you can really get the picture of what it's trying to tell you though. It's very obvious. It's pretty obvious actually. But you need the wisdom to see the simple things, because some people they be like, it's too deep. It ain't that deep. I made the video. I made the videos on the channel. It ain't that deep. But I can for sure see how, because I've misinterpreted some things before. So I can for sure see how. But asking for wisdom for sure like nips that in the bud. Yeah. There's a little more in there. Hey, how's everybody doing? How y'all doing today? It's the end of the week. New Testament or Old? Let's see what iteration this is. In the very back. Actually, never read this back piece yet. Oh, there's another one too. Actually, there's another one. It's the New Living Translation. The New Living Translation. Introduction to the New Living Translation. I saw the stairs and homes. I saw her face in it. So I believe. I believe you. I really do believe you. A couple years ago when my little cousin passed away, I know I felt him tell me goodbye. Because we talked on the phone a couple days before it, but I felt like he already knew he was about to leave. It really felt like he already knew, and he was just calling everybody to like talk one last time. It felt like he knew, like he was leaving it, like he was peacefully leaving. Yep, same, same actually. That's kind of crazy. Are you my cousin? Are you one of my like relatives that aren't telling me their identity? You might be, but yeah, it really felt like he felt like he knew. It felt like he knew he was leaving. Um, and he felt like he was at peace. And when he came to see me, but when he left, it felt like he was at peace. It felt like he was when he visited me. It felt like he was at peace. I didn't feel sad, but I knew it was him. Okay. So we read from Matthew 22, 1 through 33. I'll reread this for you real quick. Hello. So Jesus also told them other parables. He said, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a king who prepared a great wedding feast for his son. When the banquet was ready, he sent his servants to notify those who were invited, but they all refused to come. So he sent other servants to tell them, the feast has been prepared. The bulls and the fattened cattle have been killed, and everything is ready. Come to the banquet. But the guests he had invited ignored them and went their own way, one to his farm and another to his business. Others seized his messengers and insulted them and killed them. The king was furious, and he sent out his army to destroy the murderers and burn their town. And he said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, and the guests I invited aren't worthy of the honor. Now go out to the street corners and invite everyone you see. So the servants brought in everyone they could find, good and bad alike, and the banquet hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to meet the guests, he noticed a man who wasn't wearing the proper clothes for a wedding. Friend, he asked, how is it that you are here without wedding clothes? But the man had no reply. Then the king said to his aides, bind his hands and his feet, and throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Then the Pharisees met together to plot how to trap Jesus into saying something for which he could be arrested. They sent some of their disciples, along with the supporters of Herod, to meet with him. Teacher, they said, we know how honest you are. You teach the way of God truthfully. You are impartial and don't play favorites. Now tell us what you think about this. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus knew their evil motives. You hypocrites, he said. Why are you trying to trap me? Here, show me the coin used for the tax. When they handed him a Roman coin, he asked, whose picture and title are stamped on it? Caesar, they replied. Well then, he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. His reply amazed him, and they went away. That same day, Jesus was approached by some Sadducees, religious leaders who say there is no resurrection from the dead. They posed this question. Teacher, Moses said, if a man dies without children, his brother should marry the widow and have a child who will carry on the brother's name. Well, suppose there were 7 brothers. The oldest one married and then died without children. So his brother married the widow. But the second brother also died, and the third brother married her. Then this continued with all 7 of them. Last of all, the woman also died. So tell us, whose wife will she be in the resurrection? For all 7 were married to her. Jesus replied, your mistake is that you don't know the scriptures, and you don't know the power of God. For when the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. In this respect, they will be like the angels in heaven. But now, as to whether there will be a resurrection of the dead, haven't you ever read about this in the scriptures? Long after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had died, God said, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. So he is the God of the living, not the dead. When the crowds heard him, they were astounded at his teachings. Okay. All right, chat. This is where. Read some number. I'll be saying the number 4 on the clock a lot. Do you know what that means? Do I know what that means specifically? I feel like whatever you were thinking at the time, when you see stuff like that, that's what that means. So whatever you just crossed your mind, as soon as you looked up and saw it, that's what that means. I don't think you can Google search it. I know people Google search those and stuff, but I think it's what you're thinking about at that moment, or what just not even really thinking, what just crossed your mind at that moment is what you need to go into next. That's like a direction. It's just like having a compass. It's like having a compass. There you go. It's like having a compass. And you are in sync with that compass, right? When you see that time, when you see those numbers, it's a compass. Yeah, I know people call it angel numbers. I really feel like it's more like a compass. I feel like it's a compass more than anything, based on what just crossed your mind, not based on something random. I'm not saying based it on something random that didn't have anything to do with what you looked at the clock for, but whatever just crossed your mind, whatever that was, you should look into that, because it's a compass. That's a compass. I believe that's a compass. Okay, but not gonna lie, not gonna lie, not gonna lie. We're about to wrap up this stream specifically. It means you're aligned with the purpose God has for you. Yeah, it's a compass. Yeah, but it's a compass based on what just crossed across you, what just came to you. God is giving you a direction. You know, he's giving you direction in that moment. That is direction. That is a compass for sure. 1000%, that's a compass. So don't think about what you're doing. Think about what crossed your mind. I don't want you to confuse those two things. But it's time for me to slide, because I'm going to do a different stream. But I'm not going to do this stream right now. We're going to do a different type of stream after I hang with my wife for a bit. So after I finish hanging with my wife, then I'll come back and do a different stream. But I'm finna dip. Y'all have a great one. Now it's time to hit this outro. We all got the Limitless Core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for joining me on today's stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. You have a blessed rest of your day, rest of your weekend. Until the next time I see you. Peace. And so on and so on. God loves you too. Have a great one.